Guys, we now have deployable targets here in the Hunter Classic where we can set up pretty much our own shooting ranges, so I've come here to Bushrangers Run to do exactly that. But before we get going, apparently this herd of feral goats wants to interrupt the party. That's actually a pretty decent Ibex style one. Let's take that with the 300 carbon, and then we'll worry about what we actually need to do with the kind of shooting ranges we can set up. So we'll just drop him there. We'll go and grab them, and then we'll talk about how to set up the ranges and how they work. 219 with the 138 meter double long shot. Not bad at all, as just a guy that was sitting here by my tent when we started. So let's run over here and take a look at the new targets. So basically what we now have are 4 different types of targets, each with a couple of different color variations, and we also have yardage flags to mark out how far the targets are. So instead of using your rangefinder, you can just use your scope and see how far you're shooting. But we got ones like this. There's just a normal target that'll flip back when you shoot. Some of them have 10 rings like this one, and some of them only have 3 rings, and that actually determines how many points you get per shot. That's for like multiplayer competitions and things like that. And we also have these animal targets, which is a little vital you can hit. We've got the bear, deer, and there's a rabbit right here, which is a little bit hidden by the grass. I'll be able to see that a little bit better when we come over here. So those each have a couple of different colors as well. If I turn around this way, you can see I've got some black colored ones up there, which I've been shooting a little bit. I've got these white ones here, and then there's also a black with a red outline, which is hidden from here, but it's actually in sight of where I've got my mat set up. And what the mats do is allow you to get unlimited ammo. So let's just go ahead and place this one somewhere up here. It also does get rid of some vegetation, so let's just put it right inside this bush. The bush will be away so that I can get a clear shot. So just to show that the ammo will replenish, we have 10 shots in the 7mm break, and you can see in the bottom right it said infinite ammo unlocked. So let's just go for this. You can see we do get 3 points for a vital hit on the bear. I think, yeah, we can shoot through the brush here. It's 5 on the whitetail, and I don't think I'll be able to see the rabbit from here, but rabbits are 7. And just to show you, you don't actually need the mats per se. You can shoot the targets and still get your points without the mats. So let's go ahead and shoot this one now that I'm off the mat. You can still see the 3 points comes up, but now my ammo did not replenish. I'm now down to 9 shots left in the 7mm break. So you don't need the mat. You can actually only buy 1 target and you'll be set, but the mat allows you to get the unlimited ammo and pretty much just have as much fun as you want shooting the targets and learning your bullet drop. So let's talk about how to set these up a little bit. So if you're going for a full out range like I've done, what I would recommend doing is finding a place where you can see at least 320 meters, and we'll just look at this. You can see out to these targets, that is 320 meters away, and I tried to get something pretty flat here so that I don't have hills in my way for any of the other targets. You can see I've got them kind of spaced out from 50 all the way out to 320. So usually if you're a little bit higher than where your targets are, you'll be kind of set for that, and then you place your mat down as I've done here, and you can shoot as far as you want. So then you pretty much just go out and set your targets up. You can see I put a 10 out there in the middle. There's actually a reason it's in the middle, and I'll explain that in just a minute, but you just set your targets where you want them, and then you put the yardage flags down. What I've done is just stand in range where the mat's at. So if we just go here, that's about 25, 26 meters. I didn't make them exact, but just roughly, and I don't really know why I bothered to put yardage flags down where there's no targets, but I had them, so I thought, why not just put them there. So you can see these ones at 50. The targets are really easy to set up. You don't do anything special. We'll just pick this rabbit one back up, and all you got to do is try to realize which way you want to be shooting. So if I right click to spin this, you can actually barely see it. I know it's going to be hard to see in the video, but you can, especially when you're setting up yourself, actually see where the hinges are for the target. So basically, if you want to just think of it this way, if you're trying to think of where you're going to be shooting from, you want the rabbits to be facing right and the deer and bear to be facing left. So we just face this guy like this and then go back to the side that we're actually going to be shooting from. The bear and deer are facing left and the rabbit's facing right, and that's going to be correct, so that the target will react correctly. And then the other ones are actually really difficult to tell which way it's facing. These flip ones, you can't really tell. It's kind of just trial and error. Basically for me, what I've done is stand behind them and then do one 180 spin to get them to set up correctly. So let's just grab this. I'll show you what I mean by that. So once you've got your target like this, the area you want to actually shoot will be facing you, and since I'm facing where I'm going to be shooting from, I got to do a 180 spin to set that up properly. So if we put it like this, the target side will be away from where I'm at and on the side that I'm going to be shooting from, as you can see, like that. And I'll just shoot one of these to show you what it does. I'm going to waste a little bit of ammo here since I don't have my mat placed down, but we'll just shoot this. Actually, yeah, let's do that. You can see it's got a nice little spin animation, and that one you can see has a max of 10 points. So the setup's really easy. The only reason that I recommend having the tent in the middle of your setup is this. If you have something like I've got where you've got targets all the way out to 320 meters, last time I put my tent up there where my mat's at, somewhere up on that hill, and when I was there I could not see the targets beyond 250 meters. I guess that's a render thing. So if you place your tent in the middle and then just run up to your mat from there, everything will be rendered in properly once you've gotten up to your mat. And the best thing about these targets is you can set them up however you want. So if you've got a tree stand and say a bear barrel that's exactly 275 meters away and you need to practice with that shot with this particular gun, you can set up a bear target at 275 meters from your mat and you'll be good to try that. And you actually could shoot out of a tree stand or a tower onto these targets since they do give you the point total. Of course, you won't be saving your ammo that way, but that's all fine. But I've got them set up pretty much staggered 50 meters apart. So I've got these at 50, 100, 150, 200, 250, 300, and then I did 320 since that's pretty much the furthest you'll see an animal on flat ground. So I've got a couple of different weapons here. We're going to go up to the mat and just take some shots, see how they perform, and then that's pretty much going to be it. One thing I forgot to mention that it does say in the bottom right is that you cannot shoot an animal while you're on one of these mats. So I guess that's because of the unlimited ammo part. It is impossible to shoot an animal while you're actually stationed on one of these. So I've got the 7mm break up first. We've already shot that a little bit. We'll just take a shot or two here on these close targets. I actually didn't mean to do this, but I like how the bear's vitals is kind of just sticking out behind the brush. But I really like the sound, that really solid metallic sound of hitting the target. It's quite nice and rather realistic as well. We'll just shoot the deer. And then I think we'll switch to the 9.3, which we'll look at a little bit of bullet drop here closer to the end. So the thing that I like to do with the 9.3, since I've done this a bit, is pretty much just this. Just hit a couple in the target like that. It's pretty satisfying. I don't know why. But you can see with the 9.3, you end up in the exact same spot, and the target ends up back in time to actually catch both shots. As you can see, we had, I think, 8 and 8, or maybe 9 and 8. But it's quite cool having these targets. It's going to be really nice to try to learn bullet drop, and I've been trying to figure out with the 9.3 out beyond like 300 meters, and we'll do a little bit of that after we look at the other two weapons we have. So the 17 HMR is the only gun I brought with me that does not take the new scope. The most zoom we can get out of it is 12, but that'll be fine to shoot a couple of these rabbit targets. And that one makes the really good sound because the gun's actually quieter than the metal sound of the bullets striking it. So let's just do another one here on this deer. I've actually realized the 17 HMR is incredibly flat shooting. Let's try one of these. How far are we looking at? That's 150 we can see from the flag. Let's just go for the deer since it's kind of the most open. And I think we were a little bit off. We heard no sound and got no points. I don't think you can hear the sound from 150. Let's try it on the bear and see if we actually can. I'm just missing by a tiny bit. I actually hit, it looks like the like outside of the target, just on the white part of the bear. So let's try that again. There we go. And you actually could hear the sound. So it's pretty cool you can hear it that far away. And last we have the gun that we took the feral goat with at the beginning, the 300 carbon. Let's just go for a 200 meter shot. There's like next to no bullet drop, or maybe there is no bullet drop with it at this range. It was a little bit. We have 6 points from that, and it was just a little bit low, which you can see there. It's just a little bit below the black, so let's aim a little higher. Maybe about there. And we got 6 points again. Did I actually aim too high? No, that's just a little bit off to the right. And I've noticed that a bit. The guns don't seem to be perfectly accurate at around like the 200 meter range. That ended up with 4. But for the most part, we're hitting pretty much where we want. That was actually pretty much where I aimed. So I don't know if there's a little bit of like a wind factor or why it just seems to be off by a little bit. Maybe it's just a randomness thing. I'm not actually sure. But let's look at the 9.3 at long range. You may remember from my long range shots video yesterday that I shot at a Sitka deer and I thought it was fine, but I actually shot underneath it. This is 250 meters, and I'm going to aim as if I'm just aiming normal. We're going to aim pretty much dead on here if we can. And you can see we actually hit below the target. So even at 250 meters, the bullet drop is pretty severe. From what I remember, we have to aim about like this. That was 1 point, so I was a little bit too low. It's kind of like with the bottom of that center cross. So let's try this again, right about there. That was 10 points. So you saw roughly what we aimed with, and that's only 250 meters away. So the bullet drop is very, very real with this 9.3, and I've really struggled to hit these animal targets, but at 300 meters, it's something like this. You can see it was very, very close to actually hitting the red disc there, but we didn't quite get it. We'll try a few more maybe with the 9.3, but you get the idea of where I'm trying to aim, and that was just a little bit high, and I'm going to lose my breath before I get another shot. We'll try that one more time, whether we hit it or not, and then that's pretty much going to be it. I just wanted to show you guys these targets and how they can be used. Let's try this once more and try to actually hit it. Just a little bit to the right, I think. But yeah, maybe I should shoot at one of these ones that's furthest away just to show that. This one on the right, by the way, it's a maximum of 3 points. I'll try to hit at least a 1 or a 2 here. We should have to aim about like that. And we ended up getting a 3. That is right in the bullseye. I will get my 30 power spotting scope to maybe show that off a little bit better. But you can see it is in the yellow there, and that's a maximum of 3 points. So the targets have different point totals, which is cool. That's going to be really fun for shooting competitions, and I'm definitely looking forward to maybe getting a couple of those going with some of my friends here, and we'll see what we can do with that. But yeah, I really like this. I probably am just going to leave my little shooting range here on Bushrangers Run. I'm rather satisfied with the way that I ended up setting it up. But yeah, as I said, you really only need one target to be able to have fun with this, and if you want a mat to give you the unlimited ammo, but you don't actually need it. Of course, you get 30 rounds per hunt anyway, and you could just start a new hunt. The only thing it'll do is hurt your stats a little bit, and I don't think too many people care about those statistics. So with that, thank you guys for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Leave a like if you did, and I'll see you in the next one.